Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Innovation Podcast, your source for all things innovation. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Daniel Huss on the line. He's founder over at gravityAI. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Adam, excited. Thanks for chatting with me.
Oh, man, I'm excited also because you brought a killer topic today, and that is the commoditization of algorithms, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I'd like to go a little bit further into what you're doing over at gravityAI. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. We started gravityAI, which is a marketplace for pre-trained AI products. So a two-sided marketplace where data scientists who've built really cool algorithms, AI models, however you want to phrase that, upload those into our platform. We then curate them, check them for accuracy and security, and then our technology makes it super easy for someone who's interested in purchasing them to just essentially download it almost like you would an app and integrate that AI into your own platform. So, an example might be, if you're a bank and you need a new fraud detection algorithm but don't have data science talent, you could just literally go to our platform, find a fraud detection algorithm that works with the type of data that you're looking for that some awesome data scientist has created and download it. Really, the effort that we've put forth here is to help large enterprise get access to the types of AI that previously have just been exclusively been accessible to people who have large data science teams. So that's what we built. We're super proud of it.
Man, that is exciting. And the way I see this is that we all benefit by creating this type of marketplace. The cost for these enterprises to be able to implement some of these algorithms, it just obviously comes down. They don't have to have the same team. There's just a lot of wins here. And I know what happens, not right this moment, but I know what happens down the line is what starts with the enterprises, and in time, how long that time takes, I don't know. Then it goes down to us small businesses. So we also benefit, like all technologies. CRMs at one point only for enterprises. Then what? At one point so I'm looking forward to the day when I can say, let's see what do I need? What can I do here?
Yeah. I call that the tech accessibility curve is what you just described. And you're right. It's happened with CRMs. It's happened with content management systems for websites, and slowly happening with AI.
I love it, and I think that's also a great transition. Let's just jump right into it. So the commoditization of algorithms and what you see happening next. Where do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, well, this is the major trend that has made it possible for a marketplace like ours to exist. Speaking of that tech, accessibility curve. In the early days, if you wanted, an AI that did something in your platform, it was pretty much all custom, where you had to have a data science team working with engineers. But what's fascinating right now is that the prevalence and availability of data, Google released 200,000 plus data sets, the prevalence of new technologies like things called auto ML, and the increasing numbers of folks with data science skills have really opened up the world of being able to access what we would call more commoditized types of algorithms. So these are things that perform very well, that are widely accessible now, that you can get access to. Now, when I say algorithms, I know that this can seem kind of nebulous, but so here are some very easy examples. Something that we call natural language processing, or NLP for short. That's where you run text through the algorithm, and it detects nouns, people, places, or things. So it can detect, whether or not, it's a financial article, it has the company Apple in it versus, the fruit apple. It can detect whether or not, it mentions Steve Jobs or, earnings. So that type of algorithm, before this kind of increase in technology and skill sets that we're seeing, used to be, again, restricted to a very limited number of companies who would leverage it. But this skills explosion, this technology explosion has made this type of technology widely available.
That's awesome. And so let's go, I want to go a little bit further into the marketplace. And, you know, there's a big, so this tech podcast, been doing this one for a long time. A lot of people in Mountain View and many of the tech hubs in the United States that are listening to this right now. What kind of things can they expect when they kind of enter the marketplace? Like what kind of problems are being solved?
Yeah, we have several verticals that we've started with, but the amazing thing about marketplaces is that new use cases for fantastic AI keep popping up all the time. We started in the financial space and in the healthcare space. So we've got very interesting algorithms that accelerate things like drug discovery processes, natural language processing algorithms that I just mentioned, right? That might be able to read financial text or do sentiment analysis on that text, are just a few examples. Another very commoditized type of algorithm is what's called OCR, or optical character recognition. This extracts text from images. So if you've ever used a mobile deposit with your bank where you've taken a picture of your check and it automatically looks at that picture and extracts text, that's using an OCR algorithm to extract that text. So those are some of the types of things that you would see on the site. But we have got super new, interesting use cases that pop up all the time that I wouldn't have even thought about. One of them, our partners who sells through the site, is a company called Savidia, and they specialize in object detection algorithms. So they've built this algorithm that if you put it, run it alongside live security footage, can detect firearms on someone. That's super cool, right?
That is cool.
You know, we're living in the future. And so we keep seeing these types of use cases. The new ones pop up as more people get, you know, the types of skills again needed to build them.
So we've talked a little bit about from the company side and the enterprise side and how they can maybe use it. Let's talk from the other side, so the suppliers or the data scientists that are actually, you know, supplying the algorithms or entering the marketplace. What does the relationship look like for them?
Yeah, so for them, it's a couple things, and I was surprised by the outpouring of support that we got from the supply side when we first started this. One, we're giving them a distribution mechanism, right? Just like an app store would. It's very hard for small organizations to get large contracts with, you know, banks, financial institutions, healthcare institutions, because there's security and procurement requirements that oftentimes they just don't meet. So by working with us, they're getting access to these companies that they may not otherwise have access to. The other thing that is a huge benefit for the buy side of things that is very difficult for the seller to do is create what's called an on-premises or on-prem instance of their solution, which basically means deploying it behind a company's own firewall. Most solutions right now are deployed in the cloud, but if you're a healthcare company or a financial institution, your data is very sensitive, and they still really need these, what again we call on-prem installations. And trust me, they are, when I talk to the sellers, it's a major headache for them. It's a serious hassle. They charge more for it, but make less. It takes an enormous amount of effort. Through our technology and the way that we deploy the algorithms to our clients, we've simplified this process. Basically, it's almost as easy for the buyer now as just downloading and installing an app. And obviously that benefits the seller because they don't have to put in the work to go do these on-prem installations, but they still get access to that client.
You're spoiling them, Dan. You're making it too easy. Come on now.
That's the goal.
I like to do it. In my day, let me tell you, Dan, what we had to do. No. That's awesome.
I hear that's funny you say that. I've heard literal horror stories where people have started it that way, of them trying to do this process. And, it sounds technical, but it literally is just a lot of effort for them to do. And it's a major pain point.
Man, that's awesome. I I love what you're doing, man. And I see the marketplace growing and growing, and I can just see that, things just are going to keep popping up. You're going to be like, what? How did this? Oh, okay. And I'm excited to see you and check in with you in a year or so and see what's going on next and what's new and fresh, because I know new things are going to come up all the time. Hence, a marketplace in general. It's just exciting stuff that you're in the middle of. So that being said, Dan, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about gravityAI, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect with the brand and the platform?
Well, the first thing that they can do is just obviously check out the website. We are at gravity-ai.com, although at some point I'm going to try to get that gravity.ai URL, but gravity-ai.com. You don't have to do anything to go browse the market, and you can just see what cool algorithms and AI products are up there. Or feel free to email me directly, dan@gravity-ai.com. Happy to set up some time, give you guys a demo, and walk you through some potential use cases for your business.
Awesome. Well, Dan, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about the great work that you're doing over at gravityAI. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Innovation, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Dan, thanks again for coming on the show.
Adam, thanks for having me. Take care, my friend.